Hey, good morning, friends. I have been playing Path of Exile 2 for about 140 hours. We're Act 3, level 47, Witch Mercenary. I've gotten, let's see, how many uniques now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've noticed I didn't play a lot of Path of Exile 1, so I'm not sure how good uniques really are, or if they're good for certain builds or dependent. I've played a ton of Diablo where uniques and mythical items kind of create the build, and if you deviate from that, you're not going to do very well. So far, I've done okay in Path of Exile 2 without having to use any of these, and I'm honestly not even sure if they're almost like they're corrupted. So if I take a look at like these boots, Infernal Pursuit. So we have good armor, 10% move speed, 138% increased armor, 82 max life, 99% increased chance to be afflicted by ailments when hit. So if you have any kind of dodge, any kind of block, any kind of evade, that you have a 99% increased chance of actually getting, poisoned or stunned or anything. If I hit alt, we get ailments. It's bleeding, ignite, chill, freeze, shock, electrocute, poison. So any of those, if they're going to hit you, you have a really good chance of actually taking the ailment. Now, that said, when you take the ailment, you get 20% increased move speed while affected. So basically, you have 30% move speed increase, but you're going to be bleeding out or something else even worse. So I don't see why I would use these. I used them for a while, and anything, especially on bosses, if I took poison or any kind of damage, it was terrible. We have this maul, which I got, and they seem to not scale. Well, they kind of scale with level, but I got these level 20, level 30, but physical damage 9 to 16 on a unique that I got when I was probably at least level 25. Extremely low. I haven't played a warrior class or anything that would use this. So, adds 3 to 6 physical, 44 accuracy, 5 strength, causes double stun build up. And it's unscalable. So, double stun build up is actually pretty good. For a hammer, that's kind of what you would want. The font of power, this one actually looks really good. So when I do a mage build or sorcerer build or whatever you want to call it, 45% increased spirit, 53 mana, 27% mana regeneration rate. Party member in my presence casts a spell. I sacrifice 20% of mana and they leech that mana. So you regenerate mana a lot, but you're basically a fountain of mana for your teammates. So, a 27% increased mana regen rate and a bunch of mana boosts. However, if somebody is just casting spells next to you in a group, they're going to be leeching a bunch of mana from you. So is this like a support scepter? I'm not sure. I didn't know what the group play is in Path of Exile 2 and what we're going to be doing there. So that one's interesting. And then we have chainmail. So decent body armor, increased evasion and armor, 83 max life, 122 stun threshold, 25% chance to be inflicted with bleeding when hit. So bleeding when hit. Is that bleeding when I'm hit, or is that bleeding when something else is hit? So it looks like it's when I'm hit, not when hitting others. So it gives me lots of life and evasion, but I'm gonna be bleeding. And then we have the Devouring Diadem. So it's a wicker tiara. We have a good energy shield. We get int. We get chaos resistance, and every 3 seconds consume a nearby corpse to recover 20% of life. This is probably my favorite one. This one seems to have a boon for every stat. So I'm not sure how many uniques there are. I haven't been farming uniques. I don't know if they specifically drop from certain bosses or if they're just random world drops. So far, mine have been mostly just world drops or from elite enemies or bosses. But nothing that I've seen is like they're farmable from certain bosses. But maybe there are. Maybe there's unique class type builds that you can find unique items that fit your build. So I'll keep looking for those, but curious to know your comments and thoughts on, do uniques really matter? Are you finding ones that have all boons, kind of like this tiara? Are they all kind of feel like they're corrupted, where they have 3 good stats and 1 kind of bad stat, like I've found on a few of these others? I'm not really sure. This one right here, the quarterstaff, is pretty good. 2% increased area of effect per 5 intelligence. Also increased attack speed per 5 dexterity, and 10% increased weapon damage per 5 strength. So if you have a bunch of stats, this thing really scales up the more you put in the stats. So that's actually really good too. This would be good for a monk. So I'm excited about that. So I will, I'll keep farming these and just see if there's more for builds. But so far, haven't found anything for the mercenary that's really worth putting on so far. And I guess we'll just keep going. So I would be looking for something, like a bombard crossbow that gives me the extra grenade, because my merc is pretty much a grenade build. So we'll see. Anyways, let me know in the comments if you're finding anything good. Point those out and I'll keep farming. But hope you're enjoying Path of Exile 2, and I'll see you in the game.